Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we have a vintage semi-automatic Petrol table lighter made in Japan. It appears to be chrome-plated brass and missing most of the paint that once covered the sides of the lighter. It's a pretty cool mechanism on the top with a removable windscreen that snaps right off. This lighter is marked Japan, but it does remind me very much of a lot of the made in occupied Japan lighters that I have encountered. I think this was probably from that period directly after that, mid to late 50s, maybe early 60s. You can see it is marked simply Japan on the bottom, and it had sort of a green teal kind of paint, maybe turquoise. I don't know what the best way to repaint something like that, and I don't suppose there would really even be any danger or any harm, I should say, in repainting it, even if I was going to resell it, so long as I make note of that when I do sell it. But I don't know, I've just kind of been toying with the lighter here and there. It's got a pretty strong mechanism, and I don't recall ever encountering one exactly like it. It's kind of got a free floating button there in the back. And then you got these three little dimples in the main part of the lighter that windscreen slides over and stays attached. So that is the removable windscreen that slips up and over, kind of like the Champ-O-Matic, just a little bit, shaped different and all, but just in the way that it holds on and slides over the mechanism. Kind of reminded me of the Champ-O-Matic. This lighter still has its original wick and wadding, and all those expendables are still the original so far as I could tell. I did not change them out, and the wadding especially looked a little stalish. I don't know if that hurts anything, the discoloration or stains that develop over time. I did put one of the Dunhill blue flints in this mechanism, and it seems to make a pretty big difference in this one as well. They just seem to provide a much bigger shower of sparks. It's a fairly tall table lighter in comparison to most pocket lighters. I'd say half again as tall. You can see that wadding there. It's got a very long flint spring, and the screw is kind of awkward, and I had to tighten it down with a pair of pliers. Couldn't get a good enough grip with my fingers to get it as tight as I needed. I was feeling there to see if I could feel the moisture of the fluid, which I couldn't really feel it, but you could see it. So it'll hold a pretty good amount of fluid in this big thread sealed tank, but it's not airtight or anything like that. So I don't know how it'll do with evaporation. Maybe so much space there it's hard to keep it fueled. I don't know. Some of the big Ronsons and the big Cygnus table lighters, they seem to hold fuel forever. So we'll see how this one does. It's got the nice knurling along the bottom edge there to give your fingers purchase to screw it down or take it off, however it is that you are manipulating it at the moment. You can see it has a nice wide windscreen there with several slots, and the way the wick is currently positioned, it provides a very large flame. It's not the most attractive lighter right now, the way the paint looks, but like I said, I think I will do something, make a project out of it, and just see how attractive. Maybe if I've got any kind of fashion sort of style as far as decorating a lighter like this. See that big wide thumb lever that just hangs out there by itself, and the spring appears to have really strong tension to it. Before I put the Dunhill flint in it, it was not reliable at all. I've been wanting to do a video on this lighter for a long time, so I'm glad that this is at least another one that the Dunhill seems to have made a worthwhile, functional lighter out of. It does show plenty of plating loss, corrosion, dings, dents. It's missing way more of the paint than is still present, but the mechanism seems to work okay. The bottom plate threads on just fine. The removable windscreen holds in place perfectly. It's a really nice lighter, and I'm looking forward to using. I had several opportunities this weekend, which my apologies for no Monday video. Maybe a time or two where that happens again. So I've changed the current video schedule to most weekday mornings at 8 a.m. for the next few months anyway. Got a lot going on, but you can still see those videos. May not be every weekday morning, but it's going to be most of them. See, once we take the windscreen off, then you can see where the wick was exposed and didn't exactly want to snuff that flame. And that flame is big enough that it really heated up that snuffer and burned my finger there when I was trying to close it. And I can't remember, I've had it off of there before, but just for the time it was taking to make this video, it seemed easier to snap that up to put the windscreen back on. I'm not sure if that was necessary or not. So let me know what you guys think. Should I paint it? Maybe try to put a crackle, some kind of textured finish to it? Or maybe a satin or some other kind of paint? Maybe a leather wrap or some kind of synthetic cover of one kind or another. If any of you have ideas, let me know. If I don't get around to employing them on this lighter, maybe I can use them on the next one. So we've got it fueled up nice now, and gonna use it for a while and see what kind of use we can make out of it. Until next time.